They are awake before their alarm even sounds. Their environment is ordered in a way that looks effortless, but clearly is not. They do exactly what they decided to do, and then they move to the next thing. Most of us observe this and feel one of two things: deep admiration, or a persistent, low-grade sense that we are failing at something fundamental that this person has mastered. We assume they possess a heroic, almost infinite supply of willpower, allowing them to white-knuckle their way through desires through sheer force of character. Viewing discipline as a finite resource of grit creates a sense of personal inadequacy. However, this model of ego depletion and constant resistance diverges from what researchers found when they looked closer. In 2005, researchers Angela Duckworth and Martin Seligman at the University of Pennsylvania published a study measuring academic performance. They found that self-discipline outpredicted IQ by a factor of 2. This flow model reveals what the researchers actually discovered. Highly disciplined individuals are not constantly exercising effortful resistance. Their environments and habits are arranged so they experience less temptation in the first place. Discipline is executed during the morning planning phase. By removing the friction that usually causes midnight failures, they bypass the need for willpower. The battle is won through decisions made long before the temptation arrived. They are managing a system built when the pressure was low, and the system handles the heavy lifting. The discipline is located in the architecture. While the external systems of highly disciplined people look identical, the underlying psychological engines powering them can be entirely different. Self-determination theory calls the first engine autonomous regulation. This occurs when discipline serves as an expression of personal identity, rather than the suppression of an impulse. These individuals experience the difficult task as internal alignment. Doing the hard thing feels like being who they are. Skipping it is what feels wrong, not because of guilt, but because of identity. This internal alignment eliminates decision fatigue. They do not have to renegotiate their choices every morning because the decision was made once, and it does not need to be made again. The rigid structure operates as a container. It allows their most important work to happen consistently without the exhaustion of starting from scratch every single day. Research on the origins of extreme discipline has documented a different pattern: childhood environments marked by unpredictability, chaos, or inconsistent care. A child who cannot control the adults around them often turns inward to find stability. They ruthlessly control their own habits, their room, and their time as a survival strategy. Predictability functions as a psychological safety signal. The structures they build are not chosen for their utility, but because they are the only place where chaos can be held back. These self-protection structures deepen over decades and become a person's entire identity. From the outside, it looks like a choice, but inside it remains a necessary defense long after the original threat has vanished. This need for total control creates a specific social signature. Genuine human connection requires a willingness to be surprised and disrupted. To a person who uses routine to stay safe, the unplanned presence of another person feels like an intrusion that the system cannot tolerate. When the routine breaks, they feel closer to danger than to simple discomfort. This version of extreme discipline functions as a sophisticated cage, designed to manage the subconscious threat of what they might be without the structure. There is a diagnostic tool that exposes which psychological engine is running a person's life: the unstructured week. The parameters are simple: 7 days with no schedules, no goals, and no system to maintain. Only pure, unplannable presence. The values-driven person finds this unfamiliar at first, but something eventually releases. They discover that they are okay, and that they exist even in the absence of their routine. The fear-driven person cannot access that release. The unstructured week produces a rising, panic-like anxiety, a sense that without the schedule, they are somehow dissolving. This inability to experience rest reveals the distance between discipline as a vehicle and discipline as an identity, so fused with the self that the self cannot be found without it. This fear-driven system is difficult to question because society rewards it. It produces the visible results that the world recognizes as success. This feedback loop creates a trap. The external success prevents the individual from examining the internal cost of their rigid system. The external success circles back to validate the belief that control is the answer. But there is a difference between self-control, managing immediate conflict, and grit, the passionate pursuit of a long-term goal. Many extremely disciplined people possess the former while missing the latter, operating at high efficiency in service of goals they never actually chose. Discipline in service of a genuine life is a powerful force, but discipline used as a substitute for a life means building a precisely maintained vehicle that hasn't moved in years.